Comedy Radio Show, also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair, from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. So call Two Eagles Auto Body and ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527.
This is Cubs Radio.
Cubs Radio.
Okay. Okay, we'll just do that for right now.
3-2 to Mookie Wilson. Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Hello, Tony. Mookie Wilson here, 1986 Mets. How you doing? Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, that Knockem Day Comedy Radio, man. I miss you. I wish I was still up there, man. But I'll wait till it warms up a little bit, and hopefully this year things will be a little bit better, man. But when we're talking about comedy, hey, the early years of Mets was a lot to laugh about. You had to make a lot of comedy off those guys. Hey, hope to see you guys during the summer, and hopefully get back on the show, man, at some point in time during the course of the year, all right? All right? Yeah, fine. Contact me, man. All right, Tony. Talk to you later.
What will you experience at a Knockem Dead Comedy Murder Mystery Show? Suspense, excitement, love, more love, violence. Well, not really. And, of course, some music. Knockem Dead Comedy is the #1 murder mystery troupe, entertaining thousands of people for over 20 years.
Have a great night or what? Good.
Their hilarious murder mystery shows are full of audience interaction from beginning to end that will keep you laughing all night long. Their shows are not to be missed. Knockem Dead Comedy's murder mystery themes include a mob show, a redneck wedding, a high school reunion, a family reunion with a luau theme, or your own custom show.
Johnny, you have a good time tonight or what?
I had an awesome time.
All right. You had a great time. KDC, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, all right.
Fundraisers, private parties, corporate events, restaurants, and more. Contact Knockem Dead Comedy for your event today. What will you...
Hi, everybody. This one. Hi, everybody. Welcome. It is Thursday. It is June
2nd.
It's June already. That's insane.
I know. It feels really weird.
It does feel really weird. It just flies. Flies. So it's June 2nd. Welcome, everybody, to the Knockem Dead Comedy Podcast, coming at you live from Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. We are live on the Knockem Dead Comedy Podcast, coming at you live from the legendary Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown, where this weekend you will see John Mulrooney at Governor's in Levittown. That's where we're at right now. In the main room, John Mulrooney, the man who started this station, he'll be playing the club Friday. Next weekend, June 10th, you'll see Punky Johnson from Saturday Night Live. The Giggle Room this weekend, Carla Okeson, Kathy Arnold, Joe Cravella, and more. That's on Friday. Joe Pontillo and Brian McGinnis on Saturday. June 10th, Eric Haft. That's all happening in the Giggle Room. At the Brokerage in Belmore this weekend, Eric Tartaglione on Friday.
Oh, nice.
Marty Caproni on Saturday. June 10th, Carrie Caravas with Bobby Bannon and Francesco Caputo. And Dan LaRocco's on that show, too. And McGuire's out there in Bohemia. Marty Caproni Friday, John Mulrooney Saturday. So you have a few chances to see Marty and a few chances to see John. Go to govs.com and make yourself some reservations to some great comedy shows. And while you're at it, don't get up and get off that computer or off your phone or whatever you're doing. Go to knockemdeadcomedy.com because you can see us June 10th. We're performing in Hicksville.
Where?
At the Knights of Columbus in Hicksville.
Nice. I like that place.
Open to the public.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think. July 22nd, we're also in Hicksville playing Peppercorns. That's open to the public. Then I think we have a private party coming up. We have a show in Jersey. Yeah, in New Jersey, we're playing too, July 9th. So go to
shows are the felony shows?
These are all our mob shows.
Nice.
That's all we've been getting lately. That's what they asked for. That's what we're giving them. So go to knockemdeadcomedy.com, check out our schedule. Or if you'd like some information, you want to host your own party, a fundraiser or a corporate event or some kind of private party, or you host, you have an establishment like a restaurant and you want to host an event and sell tickets, get in touch with us. We'll hook you up, baby. We will hook you up. And speaking of hooking you up, are you looking to do a podcast or you need to do some kind of video or audio work? Maybe you'd like a nice, comfortable atmosphere with some fun and knowledgeable engineers and producers that are equipped with microphones and cameras and lights and the great equipment for a high-quality recording, phone lines, graphics, Zoom, all that good stuff. Maybe you want to start your own podcast on your own network. Maybe you'd like to join a well-established podcast network run by one of the premier clubs in New York, with maybe some access to some great comedians. Get in touch with us here at Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. Contact us through our Facebook page, and we'll hook you up. Any kind of video or audio work you need to do, we'll take care of you. So get in touch with us, and we'll make it happen. And please like and share. There's no graphic. Please like. Oh, it is. There it is. Well, it's not there. No. Is it there? Right there. I think it's above Sallie said. Please like and share our show. Copy the link and spread it. Spread it. Spread your link all over the place. And tell everybody you know about all the great shows here at Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. Just like this show, because we're live with you right now, the Knockem Dead Comedy Podcast. Who, by the way, has No Filter Paul Field, formerly of the Opie and Anthony Show. He'll be with us here tomorrow in the studio. So that'll be fun. But lots of great shows like Donversations and Good Times, Bad Times, and Hershey and the Keegs and Steve Squared and all the great shows. Coffee with the Dog, which was on this morning, and every morning, The Wort, and I think I mentioned everybody. Top Fives. Live from Governor's Green Room, which we will be this Saturday. Lots of good stuff here at Governor's Comedy Club. And, of course, we have to apologize to you guys.
We do?
Well, Tuesday we had a show scheduled, but it didn't happen.
Sometimes things just don't happen.
That was very motherly. It's like you were scolding somebody.
Sometimes bad things happen to good people.
We know many of you were just planning around seeing the shows on Tuesday because it was Tuesday trivia. And because we had, Joe Cravella and Dan LaRocco in the studio with us, we were excited to hang with them and have some laughs with them. They were right here waiting to go. And it turned out there was a utility crew working outside the building, and they knocked our internet out. The whole building was out. This whole area was out. So, and Sallie went out there herself saying, "Hey, what the flying foul filth."
Well, you guys were just all in the hallway and in here, and you're wondering, like, who has internet? Who doesn't have internet? Because Governor's, the building has a separate internet than we have here in the radio station. When both were out while you guys were walking back and forth, I'm like, I bet something's going on outside. So I actually thought...
You make yourself sound so smart. I wasn't walking around doing anything. I was in here messing with the computer.
But there were other people like Truson and... You want to tell a story? Go ahead. You got a lot to say, so... Good.
No, go ahead.
So we have a carnival outside. We had that day. So I actually thought it was like the carnival people that had like did something. So I figured it was something like that. So I walked around the outside of the building, but then I saw, the Verizon truck and another truck, and they were taking out a telephone pole and putting another one in. So yeah, so I went up. I was like, we have a radio show. Like, do you think it'll be like a half an hour or a few hours? He goes, yeah. He goes, when we're done here, we're going to actually go work, down the road over here. He goes, you guys are going to be out all day.
Yeah, they were working on this whole block here doing stuff.
Yep.
So our apologies to Joe and Dan, and our apologies to you guys. Hello, Kitty. Hello, Kitty. I thought you'd change your name back to... She likes messing with us, that kitty. Like messing with a good kitty. All right, the big news around here today. I was kind of hoping to avoid this topic. We've been avoiding it the past couple of weeks, but there's a high school right behind us. We've talked about it before. That's where we did our race last year, our foot race. Well, this morning, a threat was made to this school. Police sources confirmed a possible threat against the high school was under investigation. Schools across the county have an increased police presence as a precaution following the shooting in Uvalde, Texas. And I think you've been seeing it all over the news, right? Various children have been getting arrested for making threats. What was it? In Florida, a 10-year-old fourth grader is being charged as an adult for making a threat. So he's facing jail time. There was another one I think it was today or yesterday. Was it in California maybe, where a kid got caught? He was going around asking other students if they'd be interested in joining him with blowing up a school. Like they went to his house and
like
they found...
Like he's a chemistry student or something.
Yeah, and they found so it wasn't just guns and weapons. It was, like this kid was making explosives. A threat was also made at Uniondale Middle School just this morning, says Kitty. Now, and I'm sure a lot of these threats are just kids being kids because they're idiots and they're thinking, and they don't really mean it. They just want to get out of a test, or it's a nice day outside. So they want to just mess around. But unfortunately, we do have to take them all very seriously. And the whole thing sucks. And, and then, of course, there was another shooting yesterday in Tulsa where a guy killed 4 people. And then he was killed. And then I forget if police killed him or if he killed himself. I think he killed himself. It's sad and it's ridiculous. And I don't think it matters where you stand on guns. I think we can all agree that something needs to be done.
Yeah, because every single part of it affects our kids, whether they're being killed or they're afraid to go to school or they're just trying to stay out of it and wondering why, they live in a country that we're the only country that they have to think about this.
Right.
Or they're, making threats, or they're actually the shooters, or like every single part of this gun issue affects every single one of our kids in some way. no one escapes it.
Yeah. So I think we can all agree that something needs to be done. And I personally don't think, increased security or arming teachers. I just, first of all, you're arming the teachers. You're asking for all sorts of trouble.
I can't imagine Mrs. Gloger trying to take down.
Well, nobody with a name like Gloger should have a gun. But how about, we got to get to the root of the problem, whether it's mental illness or just plain old douchebaggery, and you just need to throw these kids into juvie or whatever.
And again, in another country, you can be a douchebag and you can try to deal with your mental illness, but you don't have a gun in your hand to affect other people.
Right. So, and so that's one thing about our country. Of course, let's just say we love living here. We love our country. Of course we do. But it's not perfect by far. And this country does have a habit of just, instead of getting to the root of problems, it's just quick fixes.
They put Band-Aids on things.
Like medications, increasing medications, instead of figuring out how to just not have a certain condition or disease get you. And instead of getting to the root of why kids want to shoot their schools up, they just want to arm the teachers. No, you're just fighting each individual battle. Like you said, Band-Aid, you're not getting to the root cause of what in the world is going on here.
Right.
Why is this happening? Why are these people getting diseases? What are they eating, or what chemicals are in their water? What's in their environment? Why are these kids, feeling the desire to shoot up the schools? I don't know. I mean, of course, we can sound like old get off our lawn type people and say, well, back in our day, nobody was shooting up their schools. While that may be true, right? I mean, I don't recall I don't recall ever hearing that when we were in school.
Remember when someone like pulled the fire alarm and everyone was like,
right. But let me say this: there was a kid who I'm of course not going to name that I went to school with. There was him. Actually, it was him and another guy. They used to draw pictures of themselves shooting up the school, our school, and of course I thought it was weird. But you weren't in the mindset back then of this possible threat. I better tell somebody. You just thought these kids were weird. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget these two guys also, like, because we had the Challenger explosion in 1986. I was in 10th grade at the time. And these two guys used to, like, make drawings of that, but humor type drawings. I'd be like, what the hell's wrong with you two? Very strange guys. One of them actually did end up shooting himself a year or two after high school graduation. So I'm not saying that the thoughts weren't there back then. As far as I recall, it wasn't happening, but the thoughts may have been there. So, I don't know if it's even a new thing or a 20-year-old thing since Columbine, but it's still, they need to get to the root of the problem. Just saying, oh, we'll just fight back by sending more guards, a police presence, arming the teachers. Then what? Gun battles? A teacher versus a student in a gun battle? I mean, that's just insane. Or if a gun goes off by mistake, or if a teacher shoots a kid and they're like, well, it was unwarranted. I mean, it's just, again, you're just inviting a ton of issues. And again, I don't even think it matters if you're pro-gun or anti-gun. You got to figure out what in the world is going on with these kids. And, I do personally think it's in poor taste for the NRA to then hold a convention in Texas like they're doing this week and next week.
Unbelievable.
But that's just my own personal belief, your personal belief. And I'm not looking to cloud the issue by even getting into that.
It's so disrespectful.
Granted, and that's how I feel about it too. But again, that just takes away from the actual issue if we're going to debate that. Figure out what is going on with these kids, why they have a desire to shoot up, why they would actually go through with it, even if it's just a weird, twisted thought that you have. But then to actually go through with it takes another level of crazy. And what's going on? Is it too much pressure in school? Are they being bullied? Is there an issue at home? Are they on drugs? A mixture of all of these. What is it? Because even if we can debate the gun issue, whether they have the issue, whether the access to guns is too easy or not. But I think the argument is valid that if they don't get a gun, then they'll figure something else out. They'll make a bomb. They'll bring in knives. So you got to get to the root of the issue. What is going on in their heads?
Still better than guns, like when people try to kill themselves before having the easy access of a gun, they might have made it. They might have not ended up, being successful.
Right.
Who's ALKMS? Do you know who that is?
I think is it Sal? Is that you, or is that Kenny Shevlin? I forgive me. I always forget.
I love that. If there's a problem with porn, is the answer more porn? Yeah, totally. It's so funny.
Well, in that case, yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
The conspiracy caucus has no solutions. They think the solution to gun violence is more guns. Yeah, this sounds like Kenny Shevlin. Yeah, I agree. That's exactly what they're thinking, which is just wrong. Mm-hmm. And again, don't politicize it. Don't start going back and forth with the NRA or Democrat versus Republican. That doesn't even matter anymore.
It's right now the NRA. It does matter because right now at this point it's like supporting the cigarette companies. Like they're really screwing things up. It needs to be a lot more responsible, and like no one should be smoking a cigarette. But I'm sure there are certain people that should have access to a gun, but it's not these people.
I agree. And
it's all money. It's all how can I make more money?
Absolutely right.
And so now I think they're pieces of shit.
But it is Kenny. Okay, cool. But I agree with you. But I still think, even if that's the problem right here, I still think getting to the root of the problem then would be right here.
We can't even get to the root of the problem because there's shootings all the time.
Right.
This is normal.
Kenny, Andy Plajanos will give the teachers porn. The guy in Tulsa just bought his guns yesterday. So he bought his guns and then went straight to the hospital where he shot those people? Burp. Crazy. Well, all the best. Kirsten, if you hear anything more about Uniondale, let us know. If anybody hears anything more about Division Avenue High School, which is, we can literally see the high school if we look out our back door here. So all the best to them. We hope everybody's okay and remains okay. But if anybody hears anything more about any of these schools, because Uniondale's not far from here either. It's maybe a 10-minute drive west of here. Yeah, please keep us updated if you guys hear anything, because we don't really. We have access to the outside world here, but we're too busy looking at your comments and making sure our own stuff is working. So, the gun nuts do not understand the Second Amendment, says Kenny. Yeah. Yep.
This is too much. It's too much right now. It's like it's now crazy land with kids being. These freaking, they're all like 10-year-olds. I can't
agree.
Take it anymore.
If my first reaction is it doesn't matter whether you're for guns or not. The guns need to be taken away until we figure out what is going on.
Yeah.
But that's just going to cloud the issue because people are going to resist. People are going to deflect. They're going to push back.
Well, too bad.
But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. We have a well-trained militia. It's called the National fucking Guard, says Kenny. Yeah, it's just.
Joe.
What's that?
I said, hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe?
Beamsy is on.
Oh, is he? Oh, it just came up now on mine. Mine is slower. All right, so moving on. Unless you wanted to do more.
No, I didn't even know you were going to bring that up. So, yeah,
I just heard about the high school just before we headed in here this morning? Headed in here. Just before we head in here this morning. Headed. I don't think that's right for some reason.
I don't think so either.
Just before we traveled here this morning.
Before we came in.
As Plajanos' mind goes into overload. Good, I said load. Hello, Liz.
Hey, Liz.
One thing I've been sitting on for a few days, well, because we haven't been on in a few days.
A penis.
What the flying? You're so weird. China's education ministry has ordered a state-owned publisher to rectify a school textbook that went viral owing to what social media users described as tragically ugly and inappropriate depictions of children. What?
It's a textbook of ugly children? I'm not following.
We are banning with ugly children.
Ugly children.
Only good-looking children should be on our textbooks.
I'm seriously, I don't get it.
We need better screening, says Kenny. Yeah. And of course, Andy says, yes, just before you came inside. All right. Yeah. Kenny says guns don't need to be taken away. Okay. We just need better screening. Okay. And training. Yes, I agree with that. No. So yeah, there's a school textbook. There's no. The illustrations and the pictures are tragically ugly.
Oh.
And
Ugly in what way?
Well, to help clarify, I do have 2 examples.
Oh, is that what this was? Okay.
Yes.
Anyone you want first, or it doesn't matter?
Yeah, do that one first. Yeah. So show that one first.
Oh, little underwear.
Little underwear with
little panty action.
with a little butt crack. And then you have this one.
Like he's grabbing her dress. Oh, and look at the hands on this one.
That's kind of where I'm going with this. It's like a girl coming up from behind, which is, interesting in itself, and then look where her hands are. Yeah, so it's
yeah, I see your point.
Yeah. So
they're just changing. They're pulling the illustrations.
There's also illustrations of people with distorted faces and bulging pants.
Okay.
Boys are seen grabbing girls' skirts, and one child appears to have a leg tattoo.
Oh, no, not the leg tattoo.
These books are reportedly used in elementary schools across the country. One commenter said the textbook was about a decade old and complaints had been raised before, but less attention was paid to the issue.
What's wrong?
You hear a weird noise?
No.
Oh. So now the Ministry of Education is launching a review of all textbooks for primary and secondary schools, focusing on content and illustration. They have instructed the publisher to immediately rectify the textbook and have invited feedback from the public as they're still investigating.
All right.
There is a man between the girls, says Liz. Go back. Yeah, that one. Make it bigger again.
Baby.
Oh, she's right. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, the guy holding.
So it's the guy holding the boobies.
Oh, what did you think it was?
I thought it was that girl in the skirt reaching around.
No.
So that girl. So the girl in the front is getting her boobs touched by the guy behind her, and then the girl behind him looks. Oh, she's just running past.
She's just running from the boy
while the other
got
boy's
her
lifting
dress.
up her skirt. What the? So this is worse than I even thought.
Yeah.
Thank you, Liz, for straightening me out here.
Got it.
I don't get it, says Andy Paginos. I'd bang any one of those pictures. So weird. Even if it was made 10 years ago, I mean, what made them think 10 years ago that this would be acceptable?
10 years ago it was made? Because sometimes you see these things like I've got old kid books from like the 60s and stuff, and sometimes you see a little bit of it actually looks like that type of cartoon, but I don't see anything racy in it, so I just figured it was like this weird racy 60 thing.
Why do you have books from 60 years ago?
Not 60 years ago, but like the 60s.
The 60s was 60 years ago.
I have to look. There's like a series that I bought one time when Sam was like little that I really liked it, and it was so I have like old books. I still have them. I could show you.
No, you don't have
for
to.
when we have grandchildren.
When we have grandchildren, so at that point, we'll be showing them 70 to 80-year-old books.
They're good books.
Well, no, they're not. They have these weird pictures.
they don't have. It just has the same type of graphic.
Our grandkids are not even going to know what a book is, man. Everything's going to be on tablets.
That's so not true. Kids love books. Little kids love books. I love giving books as like gifts to like little toddlers. I love it.
Kenny says they're going to rectify them books.
That's so funny.
Kenny, jeez.
Well, you're gonna tell that. You know what story I want you to tell, because I still like giggle about it. Is when you were coming down the road and you were trying to get out of Biltmore, and how like explain the whole light thing.
Oh.
It's so funny.
Actually, yeah, I actually have two stories. One I
I
didn't
have a
even tell you
story
about.
every day about that light. We live off of Merrick Road, and there's a light.
Well, for those of you who don't know Merrick Road,
It's a busier road.
It's a busier road. It's a 2-lane each direction, east and west. It's a 2-lane road, but it's busy. It's like a local. It goes from Queens to almost out to
always
the
busy.
east end of Long Island, like the Hamptons, but it doesn't go that far. But it's still treated as like a local road. Like many towns has their main part of town is that road. So it's not like a big highway, but it's
It should be
it should be
4
more like
lanes.
a highway. Yes.
Yeah. And it was like, I don't know, it was a couple of years ago. Like even Cindy, when she was like driving, she was like, this light is unreal. I've never seen anything like it. And so one time I timed it, because lights are usually 3 minutes on Long Island, right? 2 minutes, 4 minutes,
Yeah,
like
give or
something
take,
around
yeah.
there. Well, this one had gotten up to like 7 minutes, and I timed it just to make sure we weren't just all being, cranky and not wanting to wait. But it was like 7 minutes. So I called the town, and the town was like, yep, we're on it. We actually have trucks that are going to fix it right now. And an hour later, they had trucks over, and they changed it and went back to like 3 minutes. But there's always something with this light. It's a long light. And how do you describe that thing that's in front of it that trips it? It's like a tripper.
There's
but I don't know what they're
tripper.
called. A sensor.
Jack Tripper comes running across. Yeah, it's a sensor. It's a
So
sensor
your
that
car,
trips it,
your
yeah.
front tires have to hit it.
But that's the thing and a lot of intersections have this, but in this case, it's very
far up.
Pretty much, it's almost so. If you're heading east on Merrick Road on the right lane, the trip is practically right there on the right lane.
Yeah, like we're used to it because we live down that road. But a lot of people, they stop at the light much further back, so they don't ever trip it. And then
So you're sitting at this light for like
for so long.
I think my record is 8 minutes. I think.
Yeah, sometimes people will just do a U-turn and go down another road because there'll be 15 cars behind them, and why the person in the front doesn't think to just move up. Maybe they've never had a sensor for a light.
I don't know.
I grew up with one, like a road, like a couple of blocks down from where I grew up, there was a sensor. So we all learned how to make this light. You go up and then you back up, and that's what I do with this one. Like I go forward, and then I back up. But you have to. Your front of your car is almost touching.
Yeah, right.
Merrick Road.
Is
So
in
I
the lane,
understand
yeah.
why they're afraid.
Most motorcycles don't trip the sensor, because they're so narrow. Beansy says in Florida the traffic lights are very long. All right, so what happened was, so if you're crossing a street, you got the pole with the light, and you got that button to make the light change. I've had people tell me those buttons don't do anything.
Oh, they totally work.
I know, but then I've had other people tell me that, I've had people that claim to be in the know tell me that those buttons are totally fake.
Put them on the pole.
But I don't know. Sometimes I don't think they work.
Maybe
either.
they're
You sit
broken,
there pressing
but
them forever. Yeah.
at one point they
so,
worked.
So sitting at the light the other night, and it was one of those moments where it was really long.
You weren't in front.
No, I was all the way in the back. I mean, I'm talking maybe. I would say maybe like 10 cars deep.
Yeah.
It was this light. And I'm sitting there, so like I said, I'm all the way in the back. And it was nighttime, so it was really hard to get an idea of what was going on. But I look up, and again, there's at least 9 cars in front of me. And I see a guy running across the street from the cars, from the front of the cars. And there's cars coming. He's running across the street, and he's putting his hand up to stop them. So I'm thinking, is that why there's so many cars here? Was there an accident or something? What's this guy doing?
And it was the first car guy? The guy that...
I don't know.
Oh, okay. The guy who didn't trip the light?
Well, that's the thing. So he runs across the street where they have a pole and the button, and he's like... And then he runs back before the light turns green so he can go. So again, he's like stopping cars. But he was doing it so frantically. As he's like frantically running. I'm like, what in the world? So yeah, so he just had enough of this light. And he was trying to. But what struck me funny was that they have these buttons on each corner.
So he took the.
So there was.
He picked the furthest one that he could find.
2 feet to his right, 6 feet to his left. Or 40 feet across the street on either side. And that's what he decided to do. He went diagonal, across the street and diagonal, not even directly across the street, diagonal to the other side. I was like, what in the world? And like I said, just frantic
Did it
as he's
work?
crossing the street.
Did you wait another couple of minutes?
He made it back to his car with plenty of time. So I'm going to say no.
Probably, like, it's happened easy for me 5 times where I've pulled just to make the quick right, but I feel bad because the person in front, are you reading?
I'm listening.
The person in front needs to move up, but they're not. So I'll roll down the window and I'll say, you have to move up. You have to trip the thing. And then they're like, what? I'm like, you just have to.
You have to trip, man.
You have to move up your car a little bit. You have to just move up your car. And one time the guy behind goes, are you trying to tell him to go through the light? So I go, no.
No, shut up.
I'm trying to get him to trip the light so you can go. He's like, oh, that's what it is?
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Don't ask me stupid questions.
And then one time I did it. I've done it, like I said, 5 times I could think of off the top of my head. One time I did it, and it tripped immediately, and they went, and I didn't get to make a right yet. And all the cars were like beeping, going, thank you. I was like, thank you.
But then, yeah, you called the town.
Yeah.
They sent the crew out, I think it was that day.
Yeah, like an hour later they were there.
But apparently...
No, they fixed it. It's quicker, but they need to move that trip thing.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If I'm 10 cars back, I wouldn't say it's better.
No, I think it got worse, but it was better for a while.
All right, but that's my
because
point.
It was better for a while.
Big deal. It's now bad
Well, you're
again.
saying they didn't do it. They did do it.
No,
it just is
I didn't say that.
messed
I
up.
said they sent the crew out. So I did acknowledge that they did something.
Yeah.
But my point is, you have to call again. That's what I'm trying to say. They're messing with you now.
I wonder if they could just move the trip thing too, because it's like a nightmare.
That would be a lot of work, actually.
Really?
Well, they'd have to dig up the road and move it.
But it's dangerous.
I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong.
It's dangerous.
I don't understand Fremder's comment.
You're gonna make me decipher Fremder.
Damn, Tony, this is Beansy now. Damn,
heard-
Tony, I'm watching you guys on my 85-inch TV, and your head looks huge. Beansy is admiring my huge head.
I heard Mexicans take family photos by all hopping in the front seat and running the red light.
I don't get it.
He's talking about the cameras that give you a ticket.
Yeah. Oh, so that's how they take it. Wow, that was kind of racist. That's why I didn't read it, though, actually, because I thought it might have been racist. But
Yeah.
I've always tripped balls. I don't even know how to trip lights. I've always tripped balls. This is Andy Plajanos.
Because it's a busy area too. Like even
Yeah.
our roads are busy. Like I don't know. I mean, it's just a busy town, which we like. We like busier towns and slower towns. So I guess we're in the right place. But I was we've got like 40 million dogs, but 2 of our dogs are large. So I've been skateboarding with them. Cause
Oh, I didn't realize you were changing the subject. I'm sitting here thinking, what
Yeah.
in the world does this have to do with traffic?
no, just how like busy like our area is. Like the cars, it's busy. It's a lot going on there. But yeah, so I've been putting, like this morning I put one dog on a leash and went outside with Sam's skateboard, and we went around the neighborhood and then came back and swapped dogs. So it was like a whole morning of like skateboarding with these huge dogs in and out of like cars, and and everyone walks their dog in the neighborhood too, so they're always trying to.
All right, I got an issue with this.
You have an issue with what?
First off, all right, not in front of your house, but 95% of your neighborhood has sidewalks.
Yeah.
Why are you guys swerving in and out of cars, putting yourself in danger, putting those
Have
people
you
in
never
danger?
skateboarded?
a little bit when I was a kid.
Yeah, what's it like when you go over a sidewalk as opposed to the road?
All right. But you still have people. Like I almost hit a jogger the other day because your street is very windy. There's a lot of turns and curves. I came around a curve, and there's a guy jogging right in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Like, get on the freaking sidewalk.
Yeah, people run on the road.
I never understood the people who push their baby carriages in the street.
Yeah.
That to me is just the ultimate stupidity.
Because it's smoother.
I don't care that it's smoother.
And you want the baby carriage to like hit a cement crack and the baby goes like flying 2 houses down.
You're not doing 30 miles an hour with the baby stroller.
Babies.
It's not a motorized baby stroller.
What did that baby do to you?
Baby cried and shit all over the place.
Yeah.
The baby's not going to feel a thing. In fact, that bumpiness of a sidewalk, that rigidness, might even help them sleep even more.
You used to walk babies on the sidewalk, up and down the sidewalk?
As a matter of fact, I did. When my kids were in strollers, yes, I did.
I think Sam I did because we were in California and the sidewalks are larger and, newer. Like, it sounds weird to think that California is new, but California is new compared to, like, the East Coast. Like, the roads are much better. And
California's better. Boston is the best, but California, everywhere I lived was better than here. Everywhere. Long Island sucks.
It really is funny that we pay so much in taxes here for nothing. Like,
well, I wouldn't say it's nothing. It's definitely too high, but it's not nothing.
It is nothing compared to like what the roads are like in other places. Like the taxes are a little bit lower in Boston. I mean, it's no free lunch in Boston either tax-wise, but it's a little bit lower. But the roads, like when I would drive from like Boston to Long Island, you'd see like a line on the highway. And like the first couple of times I drove down here, I'm like, does Long Island not pay their bills? Because there's potholes everywhere. The roads are a completely old, different color. Like the Wantagh Parkway, it's like just they redid it a couple of years ago. That's what highways look like in other places with extremely low taxes. So I don't know. I don't know where the money goes. Where's the money going?
Because they have nothing else to pay for in other states. Where here we have entertainment and industry and cool stuff.
You think that's what our taxes, our housing taxes are going for?
I'm at the age where we're old and we sit on our lawn chairs in a park and we watch some of them are bad tribute concerts.
I love that.
That's right. I'd rather my taxes go to that than fixing a road.
We can't even sit on the lawn anymore because of those stupid black flies. What the heck what is those?
The flies are bad this year so far.
The gnats or something?
The gnats. They've been...
It's
the
like
other day...
They've organized or something.
I was having a catch with my daughter outside, and I was feeling them, and I'm like scratching in between catching and throwing. I'm like... But also I look at my left arm, I'm not making this up. My left arm from the elbow to my wrist was almost completely covered in gnats. I swear to you. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm smacking the catching glove. I'm smacking my arm. And I just turned to my daughter. I said, we got to go in, man.
Yeah.
Like,
she wasn't getting bit?
No, she was doing it too as we're throwing and catching. She's, would throw the ball, catch.
There's something about Sam's skin that mosquitoes and flies and bugs prefer over me. So I love doing anything with Sam outside because I'm completely left alone while he gets attacked.
Brendan Burt, no tolls on Long Island. Can't go 3 miles in Florida without having to pay a toll. Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Oh, all right.
See, yeah, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine the other day who said he has friends that have moved to North Carolina and places where he said their taxes really aren't that much lower.
Really?
Yeah, like to the point where, I mean, this is what he said to me. I don't know this is fact. I'm just telling you the conversation I had. But so he was saying that he doesn't see the point of leaving. And I said, thank you. That's exactly how I've
I don't want to
always
leave
felt.
either. I
love it here.
I don't want to leave either. I just think, I don't know why the roads can't be a little bit. Yeah, I mean, the first year that I moved here, I had to get my car realigned and a brand new tire replaced because of a pothole. Like, it's a lot.
DJ D Love is watching. Hello, DJ. Andy Pagano says, I'm with you, Tony. I also hate babies. He also says that you were swapping the dogs out. He goes, you were way cooler than he thought.
Who?
Andy Pagano said that. Because you were swapping with the dogs.
Oh, that's why? Not that I skateboard?
No.
I feel like, do you think I'm like too old to skateboard?
Yeah.
I don't feel any different skateboarding
No, I think it's
now
cool.
than I did in my 20s. But I'm thinking maybe I'm just stupid and I'm going to get hurt. Like, I don't feel like my balance and coordination just feels exactly the same as in my 20s.
And that's fantastic. I think it's cool that you do it.
Yeah.
Pajano says, thank you, Andy. He says, if you break down taxes versus services, we aren't too bad. That's exactly my point. And which is why I love it here.
I'm not taking this area away from you.
Don't take it away from me.
I'm not taking it away from you.
You're not taking it away from me?
Nope.
Don't take it away from me.
I won't.
Good.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I never want to move. I've moved, what? How many, what did
In
we
your
figure one
lifetime-
time? I'd have to figure out.
In your lifetime, you have moved 32 times.
Was it? I was
Yes.
going to say 27.
32. That is more than half your life.
Yeah.
Way more than half your life.
Yeah. So I don't ever want to move again.
I'm still in single digits, the amount of times I've moved in my life.
Yeah.
And you're up to 30 freaking 2.
Yeah, so I would prefer not to ever move again.
Yeah, I just love it here. And I don't want to go, so don't make me.
I'm not going to make you go.
You're not going to make me go?
I'm not going to make you
Speaking of driving, I used to drive my girlfriend's car all the time. That way, when I went to see her, I can always pull up in her Volvo.
go. Oy. Oy.
Fremda should do a show here. Because then I would just hit him with jokes like his the whole time. He should do a special. A one-time special where he gets to do anything he wants. He can talk, he can play his music.
He's special enough.
He can show. So my other story of driving on Biltmore Boulevard the other day.
Oh, okay.
I want to see if I can get this right. So.
You coming or going?
They know. I was on my way home.
Okay.
So I drove off Merrick Road onto Biltmore. I made a right onto Biltmore, and right there was a school bus. And it had,
Oh, yeah.
and it had the red and the stop sign, so I
Yep.
stopped. Now, the school bus, I want to make sure I get this right.
They're usually good about it.
Well, no, I had no problem with the school bus.
Like they'll like see a car behind you and they'll like pull the stop sign and wave you because it's endless.
The school bus was going in the same direction as me, so it's in front of me, facing south. So the door would be on the right, would be on my passenger side. So now this is this is a small intersection. There's a stop sign right there. Biltmore continues straight, but there's also a side street. So the bus is stopped right at the corner, right at the stop sign. People are standing on the curb by the stop sign. They don't see the other side. You know, we're facing south. They can't see the northbound side. So a car starts to drive. Now there's a car in front of me with the bus in front of that guy. So the car in front of me, he starts to move because he wants to block this car from moving.
Oh.
So that car is now honking at this guy, because he wants to keep going. The guy's yelling back at him. But now, like I said, the people at the bus on the bus door, they can't see the northbound side, so they see this guy trying to block, but they just think he's trying to drive through.
Yeah.
So now they're yelling at him.
Okay.
So there's two separate arguments going on with this one poor bastard being the target of both.
Yeah.
It was like this close to getting a little hairy when the bus closed its doors and pulled the sign away so everybody was free to just go anywhere they wanted to.
Yeah.
So the bus starts to drive. This guy works his way back in. The guy heading north can continue. So as he's passing me, you see him. He's still like this. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm one of those people that when you see, when you don't stop for a school bus, when you don't have a handicap sticker or tag, and
If
you park in a
don't take
handicap,
your hat off.
you don't take your hat off during the national anthem.
Yeah.
These things enrage me.
Yes.
So I almost did roll down my window to yell at this guy, well, you should have stopped for the bus. But I didn't. I just kept on looking forward, made my music louder, and tickled my balls.
Oh. Your sweaty balls.
My good sweaty balls. Right? Is that what the doctor said?
You
They're
have good balls.
I have good balls.
You have good balls.
So, so that's my whole story there. I was there once, beginning to know why I have not been invited back.
Oh, Andy?
No, Andrew Fremder said that. Oh, saying he was here once.
Yeah.
Beginning to know why he's not been invited back. Well, if Fremder, I'd have him back.
I don't know that he needs to be invited. Just you know.
Well, no, he's got to be invited. Otherwise, he'll show up every day.
Would he?
I think so.
Oh.
But no, I'm saying, Andrew, that you should have your own. You should do your own show in here.
Just so you can annoy him.
Just so I can throw like random bad facts and bad jokes at him. Brendan Burt, my 6-year-old just started skateboarding, so I did too. It's harder than I remember it.
Yeah, it is. It's. I gotta tell you, it's the skateboards that we grew up on were garbage compared to what they have now. Yeah, it's fun to go now, but I'll go so fast that I'm a little scared because you
said that very creepy, like I go so fast. Like what the hell was that?
Well, if I go if the dog's pulling me, because with both of them, they start off with a pretty fast gait because they're so excited to go, and it really is fast. And so the only way that I can stop at that speed is to just jump off. So I jump off and I stop the skateboard, so that it doesn't go past me and, fly down the road and, run into another car. And I do that. And after a while, they kind of calm down a bit and I skateboard in the middle of the road. Because with a dog, if you go close to the side of the road, they're going to want to smell a tree.
Pee in a bush.
Another person would be walking a dog on a sidewalk. And so I keep mine right in the middle of the road. And as soon as I see a car, I can get to the side. But I have to jump off because then they try to go to the side of the road.
Well, all right. So explain this to me. What do you mean you were swapping dogs? So one was pulling while the other one was...
I didn't take both of them together.
I took... you came back home, switched dogs, and went back out?
Yeah, I took the Shepherd first, and then I came home, and then I took Ludo, the Golden Doodle.
The Mike Rutherford.
Yeah, he's so big. And so I took... I like to take them separately. The little dogs, I can easily, go running with 3 dogs, the other 3 just together. They're no problem at all. But the big dogs, if they want to pull, they pull. So, but anyway, back to the skateboard. So it's so much fun to skateboard now because they've figured out whatever friction resistance, these tires, these wheels that you use for the skateboard. So it's just amazing compared to the wheels that we used as a kid that were almost like rock.
I don't get skateboarding.
Why?
You're just standing there.
No, you're not. You're moving your feet. Your feet, you pretty much keep on the skateboard, right?
Right.
But you're moving your feet. You're moving your toes, I guess, and the muscles of your feet as you're skateboarding, and you're. I mean, I don't have to lift my feet to completely turn around a bend. I could just lean into it and turn without moving my feet.
You're steering it, but
with
are you
my
developing
feet,
your toe muscles?
Yeah, without moving my feet, I'm moving my feet.
Yeah, but my point is, do you really need to develop your toe muscles?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying it's fun and
it's fun.
Yeah. What do you mean you don't get it?
There's no health value. You're not exercising.
Well, I mean, a lot of times one foot's on the skateboard and one moving, and that's probably half the time.
And all right, I guess that would help leg muscles a little bit.
Oh yeah, I'm sore. I get sore.
Well, not when you're taking a dog with you. You're cheating.
No.
Yeah.
Because I go a lot further than I would if I was just going to skateboard by myself.
Yeah, but the dog's pulling you the whole time. You're not doing any of the work.
No, I'm doing a lot of work.
Like what? Steering,
pushing the skateboard along with my left foot.
Why are you pushing the skateboard along if the dog's pulling?
Because after a while, the dog isn't running like crazy, so he's just keeping up with me. So a lot of times I'm skateboarding.
Oh.
And he's pulling me like a little, but not much.
Oh.
And I'm jumping off to save my life, and so it is. It's pretty.
But I've seen Sam do it, your son, and he just stands there on the thing while the dog pulls.
Yeah.
Which is why he's a 32 waist.
34, right? 34.
Yeah, 34.
Yeah. I think he
He's
just
fat.
likes big clothes. I just, I think that's him.
When you're driving, getting hit in the rear is known as the deliverance. That's not bad.
Fremder? They haven't been bad today, actually.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, they've been kind of interesting.
Very sad news coming in.
Oh, no.
2 pieces of very sad news.
No. Why?
The last Howard Johnson's restaurant in America has closed.
I used to love Howard Johnson's.
Me
Where
too.
was it on Woodbury Road? Where was it?
Wasn't it where
That CVS is?
it's Walgreens, isn't
Is it Walgreens?
it? I believe so. But there was also
I used to walk across there all the time, and every time we had a concert in elementary school or high school, we would go there afterwards. I have a lot of memories there.
but for me, there was another Howard Johnson's in Hicksville.
Oh.
Old Country Road and Wanto Parkway. That was a Howard Johnson's for a very long time. And same thing, we used to go there all the time. Everybody went to Howard Johnson's all the time.
Yeah.
Andrew Fremder, speaking of dogs, that makes me wonder, who cleans up seeing eye dog shit? That's pretty funny. Brendan Burt, I am challenged when it comes to balance, but I still play baseball. Skateboarding has actually made me a better hitter. Can't complain. Really?
Yeah.
Explain that.
Well, I think it like when you're skateboarding, you actually, believe it or not, use your scapular a little bit. You're like, because you got
Spatula?
Your spatula. You're balancing, and then when you go to hit, it's the same muscle. So that doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah, I mean, you're not just like this when you're skateboarding or you fall. You have to. It's kind of like surfing.
But you're
You
not
have
like
to-
this when you're batting in baseball either. So I'm just kind of...
Right. So it's exactly the same shape. So when you're skateboarding, you're using this muscle for balance, and then when you go to hit, it's the same muscle.
It's interesting. I don't think I've ever had or even heard about people having trouble balancing when they were up at the plate.
Not balancing, just improvement in holding. His balance isn't improved. His upper body, back muscle has improved. Yeah. Right there. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Torque, says Elizabeth. Beansy, let's have a moment of silence for Howard Johnson. Brennan Burt, weight shift from one hip/knee to the other. Oh, all right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Brennan Burt said, you just said it perfectly.
Who? Oh, explain why. Yeah, because you don't, I don't know, do you shift your hip? Like usually,
Yes.
Yes,
you do.
usually it's just going to be, like if you're right-handed, you're just going to be using your right hip. And it's the same with,
Because you use the left hip first to take that
skateboarding.
step, and then you transfer that weight over to the back
yeah.
to take that swing. And then they always tell you, well, if you're batting the back leg, whichever side of the plate you're on, the
Right.
back leg is never supposed to move.
Ever.
So you're starting off with the pressure on the back foot while you move.
Yeah, all
front
of your
and then
weight
back
should
to the
be
back.
on your
Yeah.
back leg.
Right,
Completely.
right.
Like you should not, you could just like touch your toe to the ground with your other foot.
Andrew, I'll read this one, but you have told.
Yeah,
He's told this one before. I used to date a chick that was really into sports. After a game one night, we went back to her house, and she took 2 knees.
Yeah.
You've told that one before.
Yeah, he's cut off.
He's cut off. Wow. So Howard Johnson's, the last Howard Johnson's in America has closed. Guess where it was?
Was it the Wanto one? I don't know when that one closed. How long ago did it close? The one in Hicksville closed a long time ago.
I'm confused. What one I want?
You just said that there was one you used to go to off of Wanto Parkway.
Yeah, in Hicksville.
Oh.
It was Old Country Road where, I forget what it is now. Right off, as soon as you come off the Wanto Parkway, it was right down the left. You got that Exxon station and you got the restaurant next to it.
Was that it?
Yeah, that was the Howard Johnson's
Okay.
for a long time. No, guess where it was?
Where?
Lake George.
Yeah, they don't. That's sad that they like, because Lake George doesn't really have a lot of stuff going on.
Guess where the first one was? The first one that ever opened, 1925. Take a guess.
Massachusetts.
Was it?
Yes, Quincy, Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah.
Was that near you?
Sure, that's right near Boston.
The chain at one time had over 1,000 restaurants, including 3 locations in the heart of Times Square. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. However, the company eventually fell on hard times in the latter part of the 20th century with multiple ownership changes, franchise disputes, and corporate breakups. Many locations were shuttered, and the final Times Square location was just below a strip club. Wow.
Well, that's cool.
And no, if I came back, I would not be there every day because I have other people to make not laugh. All right, should we pick a day to have Fremder come back in here?
Friday.
You're a dick. Should he do Tuesday trivia with us? Well, this Tuesday we have Aaron Foss coming back for Tuesday trivia.
Okay.
Andy Pajanos, Lake George sounds like Brigadoon. Did I go too gay on this one? Yes, absolutely you did.
Lake George is great. I love Lake George.
Yeah, me too. Now, the other sad news coming in.
Oh, man.
I said there were 2. There, so apparently the licensing company that handles Elvis Presley's estate, they are trying to shut down all the Elvis impersonators at wedding chapels in Las Vegas.
Oh, that's just wrong.
Leave them alone. It's fun. There were these 2 Elvis impersonators, Jesse Garon and Dean Diamond. They've both worked countless weddings over the years. They're saying Elvis would roll over in his grave if he knew what Authentic Brands Group, which handles all the licensing for Elvis's estate, is trying to pull off. Because Jesse and Dean, they know how Elvis feels and how he would react to this. They said Elvis was a giving man and would have been humbled, knowing his legacy lives on through their work. So this is a slap in the face to those trying to keep his spirit alive. Their circle of impersonators have been huddling over the next steps. Dean says the city of Vegas has their back, as does the Nevada governor. Jesse Garon wants to get his fellow lookalikes together and picket the new Elvis biopic to send a message. These guys aren't strangers to the big wedding game. Jesse Garon was the one who married Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner back in 2019, while Dean Diamond is the guy who married Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker a couple of months back. Authentic Brands Group, which handles all licensing for the Elvis estate, has fired off cease and desist letters to all Vegas chapels.
Oh, come on.
Which has those chapels all shook up.
Yeah. No, I bet. I mean, that's kind of like if you want to do that, if you want to get married and elope that way, that's, it's important to a lot of people. Like,
You didn't get my joke.
David Clark and Sidney Bradley went and got like a Star Wars theme.
You didn't get my joke.
I didn't hear it.
You did.
I did.
Just didn't get it. I said that the chapels are all shook up.
Oh, yeah, that was bad.
There you go. And Liz says Elvis married Priscilla in Vegas.
Oh, see?
I feel like the general public would not understand why there would be angry Elvis. Why there would be angry Elvises at the Elvis movie premiere. Yes, I agree, Andy. Oh, Beansy beat me to it. I'm all shook up on the Elvis impersonator.
See, that was funny.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's fun. Like you said, yeah, David Clark and his wife Cindy got
cares?
married by Darth Vader, and they
Guy's
were dressed
dead.
up.
Who cares?
Right. That's how I see it. But for these guys to say, we're keeping a spirit alive. He was a giving man. He would love this. Like, you don't know the guy from Spit.
They're
Shut
just
up.
afraid, and they don't want their livelihood taken away. So they're just sticking up for themselves.
I do think the governor would get behind these guys, because I do think you'd probably lose a certain percentage of tourism, because I think people
it's fun.
want to go there for that reason, to get
see
married
all
by
the
those
Elvises.
stuff.
Yeah, I think it's just part of that area, kind of like in Times Square when you have Marvel characters and whatever standing in Times Square trying to get a picture.
Andrew Fremder, I was just on the phone with a company that said I won my choice of either $500 or tickets to see an Elvis Presley tribute band. I had two choices. Press 1 for the money, 2 for the show. That's so stupid. Oh, goodness. My apologies for even laughing at that. But
Yeah, that was good.
That was good. Should we give a little moment of silence for Howard Johnson's, like Beansy asked for? Can you imagine, I would imagine if Beansy was still living up here, he'd be crying right now.
They had the best ice cream.
Best ice cream, yeah?
Yeah, that's what the Howard Johnson's by the bowling alley. That's what was so good about them. I used to go across the street and get a couple of pints for the house for like a pint of chocolate for my dad. I would get praline and cream for me.
You get what?
Praline and cream.
Praline and cream? Mm-hmm. The cream part I understand. But what? Praline?
It's a nut. Now that makes sense too. It all makes sense now.
Yep. I don't need to ask any more questions.
And caramel's in it. Yeah. Caramel and vanilla. Yeah. We went to, or actually kind of, not really. Well, you actually saw the concert. So Kevin had his violin concert last night. And Tony wasn't going to be able to go because he was going to pick up a friend from the airport that it fell through. But then all of a sudden, at the end, Tony ended up in the auditorium watching too. But that was fun and kind of the same tradition. We went to Friendly's afterwards. But Friendly's ice cream is nothing compared to Howard Johnson's.
I honestly don't remember. I just remember we went there all the time because it was very close to our house.
What would you go there for? Just a diner?
We would go have our meal and then have ice cream after.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying I don't remember if any of the food was good or bad. I just have a lot of memories of going there with my family, and after a school event or something. But I'm trying to remember when it closed over there. It might have closed even before I graduated high school, but it was there. I remember my childhood. It was there.
I didn't even talk to you about this.
Damn it.
Because you saw the whole concert, right?
I walked in just as the principal was speaking. So yes.
Yeah, and often we'll get because Kevin's in the orchestra, which was good. There was actually a cello.
A girl who did a cello solo.
Yeah,
she was fantastic.
And last concert they had 6 bass players standing up, just kind of New Orleans grooving out. They were so one kid that's what he's going to do in life. He's going away from music. Was so cool. So the orchestra, really good program, and the whole of Massapequa has a good music program. But we'll either get you go to see the orchestra, and you'll either get the band or you'll get the chorus. And at first we were getting the orchestra and the band, which is really cool because the band's very good, extremely good, and the chorus it sucks so bad. They're so bad.
I'm going to disagree with that. And
I didn't even bring it up. I'm sitting next to Allison, a friend of mine who her daughter's.
You talking about last night?
Yeah. And she goes, this chorus is the worst chorus I've ever seen in my whole life. I'm like, I know, right?
We didn't get the band.
I didn't even bring it up.
We didn't get the band last night. We just had the orchestra.
Last year we had
my
the
apologies.
band.
My apologies.
Yeah.
Right.
And then when we looked at the brochure, I'm like, the chorus again.
I'm going to disagree. I didn't think they were that bad.
Okay, well, even they agreed.
What do you mean?
so the first song comes out, the chorus teacher gets up there and she does a few notes to start the song.
Well, all right. So there were two different choruses that played last. I don't know what they called the first one.
So,
but that's not the one I was thinking of. You're right.
They start singing the song, and it's so bad. Like if you look at the singers and you look at the audience, and I'm not even kidding. Everyone was like this. And then at the end of it, she goes, "I'm sorry, I gave the wrong." She goes, "This was totally my fault. I gave the wrong pitch sounds."
She had them do the song in the wrong key. Yeah, she screwed that up. But
it didn't get better.
All right, yeah, that chorus was so, but I don't know what they call them. That was just a group of like what would you say, maybe 20 or 30 girls. So that was some kind of special chorus. That wasn't
the same girls were in like all the other stuff.
But right, but then they had that group. They had the orchestra, then they had the regular chorus, which is, a ton of girls and boys. That I thought they were good. That first one, was so. That teacher definitely screwed them up on that first song.
Compared to like Mr. Arnold's chorus, I mean, because like I wasn't in chorus. You're welcome.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, but I was in band, so I hung around.
Maybe you should have been in chorus. Mr. Arnold would have made you a good singer.
I don't really, honestly, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know if even
I don't
he
even
could have
think
saved
he
you.
could. Can you take someone who can't sing more than 3 notes and the 3 notes that they have are bad? Can you actually take anyone and make them a singer?
Yeah, it's called auto-tune.
Can you though? I'm curious.
It's a program.
Just pay attention.
I am paying attention.
Can you?
I'm telling you no.
You can't.
I'm sure you can.
Can you?
Yes.
Anyway, with Mr. Arnold's group, when we had the event last week, all the old people that used to be in Mr. Arnold's chorus, I mean, these people they graduated in 1962, they graduated in 1973 and 77 and in 80, whatever. And they all stood up there and they sang a song that they sang with Mr. Arnold that many years ago, and they rocked it. And like, I don't know what it is about this chorus in this high school that they're so bad.
I don't know. I do think we did get lucky. We had a very talented man by the name of Chuck Arnold. We talked about him on Monday. But, not every school is going to get a man of that caliber.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I disagree. I think they did a nice job.
It can't be the kids, right? It's got to be the teacher because that many people can't sing that bad.
Well, it's a little bit of both because kids of that age, they're still developing and they're still learning. They don't know all the ins and outs of singing and choruses and whatnot. And these teachers, that's their job, to develop it and make it work and make it good. And but I disagree. I don't think it was as bad as you're making it out to sound. The first chorus of these girls, it was like 20 or 30 girls. I don't know what they called them. I don't know why they were a separate chorus. They were okay. The first song was definitely a mess, like you said, because she gave them the wrong key, and pretty much from get-go, they did not sound right. But I thought the regular chorus, where it's just, any kid that signs up for the class, where it's, probably 100 girls and boys up there, or 50 maybe, but I thought they were good.
Okay.
I did. I thought they were very good. They had a couple of soloists.
Mm-hmm.
There was one boy in particular I thought was very good.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that stuff because, well, one, because my brother was, in all the music stuff in school, so we used to have to go to all these things, and I used to go kicking and screaming. But then when we were in high school, I remember going to high school and I remember thinking to myself, this is actually good now. Like,
I did that with
elementary
orchestra,
school
too.
and junior high or middle school is like,
it's so rough.
Oh.
Like orchestra.
But I remember
so rough.
in high school thinking, oh, this is good now.
Yeah.
And they used to have, and Hicksville used to do this thing where they had, calm down now. This teacher, he was a science teacher by the name of Joseph Ryan.
Oh, Mr. Ryan.
Yeah, take it easy. The girls love this man.
Beautiful. It was like having Robert Redford as your chemistry teacher.
All right, easy does it.
Oh, but his eyes.
I know.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So they used to do this thing where he would come and host it. and they would play the Tonight Show theme, and he would do his little Johnny Carson thing, and as he got introduced, and then he would
cool,
just
too.
he was cool. He'd make little jokes, but he wasn't overbearing or annoying.
No, there wasn't anything
He
annoying
was a great
about him.
host, and he would just sit on. He would come out, say hi to everybody in the middle with a mic, and then he would go off, and he'd have a stool and a microphone and a music stand that had all the programs and everything he was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
And he would just stay on the end all night and just sit there and watch, and then introduce each number. And they did this with they didn't do this with the orchestra. They did it like they had a jazz band.
Yeah. Wind ensemble or anything?
A what?
Wind ensemble?
Maybe. And then they had what's called the madrigals, which is basically like an all-star, just the all-stars of chorus, basically.
Sure.
It would be maybe my brother was in it. It was like maybe 10 kids. I don't think it was anything more than that. And they would perform some, some really good intricate musical numbers, And it was just a fun night. And I remember that's when I really kind of started getting into it. Like, oh, this is kind of cool. And I used to enjoy just seeing these people too, because some of them, you would start to really see the talent. Mm-hmm. And there are several of them that still are involved in music to this day. In fact, one of them was when I showed my son's graduation video the other day. Steve Bryety, who's from Hicksville, he grew up with me and my brother. He's now the chairman of the music department at Five Towns College.
Yeah.
And he's one of the people up there. And I just enjoy going to these high school concerts now in high school and watching.
I love them.
I do. There is something missing for me because I'm so used to going, back when my brother was in school, I was in school too, so I knew most of the people up there. And then when my kids were going through school and playing, singing in chorus and working on the musicals and stuff, I knew a lot of the kids and the parents.
Yeah.
Where now,
yeah,
Kevin's going to Massapequa, and we don't really know anybody.
No,
so
it's weird.
So there is a little bit of a thrill
I know what
that's
you mean, because
lost
I had
a
that
little
up
bit.
in Colorado, in Massachusetts too. Like I knew every single person. Like I'd have to be like, who am I going to sit next to? And now we don't
now
know
it's like,
anyone.
I don't know anybody. I think one time we saw John Santo.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. She had a kid that was in something. But I still, I'll still look up and say, oh wow, that kid was really good. Oh, that one, like you mentioned, the one girl who did a cello solo.
Yeah, she was great.
This girl, if she doesn't go into, if she doesn't become a professional cello player,
Yeah, she's a senior, and that's exactly what she's doing.
Yeah. Everybody has a unique octave range, says Brendan Burt. So not everybody is meant to sing along with Zeppelin, but anybody can find a tone and sing well in it. Brendan Burt, if you can unleash a tone that Sallie can sing well, I mean, believe me, she has lots of tones. But we need to find one where that's good.
It's sad too, because like I love like as I'm driving in the car, like just singing along. Like I love to sing. Like I find so much joy when I sing. And when I played instruments, like it's the same thing. But I know when I play instruments, it sounds good, and I know when I sing, it does not.
What about when you eat your nuts and cream?
When I eat my nuts and cream,
is there a lot of joy?
No.
What's your favorite song to sing? Do you have one? Or one of your favorite songs to sing?
No, because then you'll make me try to do it.
That was my next question, to ask you to sing it.
I know you.
How much would you pay Brendan Burt if he got you to sing decently?
It doesn't bother me. I just feel bad for others.
Andrew Fremder, I love listening to symphony orchestra music. I especially love the musical piece about Stroke It Slowly, written by Tchaikovsky. I didn't read that in advance. Yeah,
Wasn't he cut off though?
For some reason, I thought it was a serious comment. Andy Pajanos, this is so Hicksville. I just a tiny bit. And yes, we went from Hicksville to Massapequa. Yes, Andrew, I'm more of a fan of Ruben von Out. That's from Brendan Burt. Beansy says he sings in the shower. Does that count? I don't need to know about anything you do in the shower there, Beansy. Yeah, so...
and then it poured on us last night. So this is bad. So I was going to take the kids with my friend to Friendlies, and Tony was welcome to go, but he had it was just a draining day. You had everything was like hitting you all day
Yeah, I'll
long,
explain that in a minute too.
and you're just like, I'm just gonna go home. So I'm like, okay. So I have in my car I have Kevin and Amelia, and then in my friend's car it's just her and her daughter. So we're standing in like the vestibule to leave, and it's like hurting you as the rain's
Yeah,
hitting
if you
you
guys
so
are in this
hard.
area, you know what we're talking about. It was a
Lightning, thunder,
Yeah, it was a bad
came
storm
out of
last night.
nowhere. Flooding everywhere, and we all walk out, and then so me and Kevin and Amelia are parked like practically in the back of the school. So we're all like goodbye, and
goodbye.
and we like tear off to the car, and then I hear out of and I asked them about this in Friendlies, and they were just laughing because I hear, you know how Allison's voice just carries. Like she's just got that tone that just like carries, and I could actually hear her as I'm running for the car say to her mother, "You parked at King Cullen?" so I was like, "Oh, poor baby." So they
Poor
had
baby.
to.
How many times did we walk when we were in high school? Even to our own concerts, our parents didn't even take us before we had to walk in
We
our
had to
suits.
walk ahead of time in our suits and dresses. Yeah.
There were times when my mother did drive me, and I'm not knocking my mother, but it's a fact. There were times I just walked myself.
Yeah.
Because I had to be at the certain, whatever it was, I had to be there early. The parents didn't. Yeah, there were plenty
And
of times
today
I walked
you
it.
drive you like I just brought Kevin early and stood there and waited, and Allison's mom dropped her off, went home, came back an hour later.
Right.
So, yeah, we would have
She's
just
complaining.
had to walk.
Plus, she's able to run. Shut up.
Yeah, she's an athlete too. She's quite the swimmer. In the rain, she should have been fine getting all wet.
That's right. She should have just slid on the pavement.
But what I didn't know, because Tony always gets, because of his leg, he always has like a good handicap spot. So I thought, well, at least sweet Tony doesn't have to be in the rain that much. And I just flew out and ran to the back of the school. And then I come to find out.
Well, yeah. So I wasn't supposed to go, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
And my plans changed last minute. So literally, the concert started at 8. It was right about 8 o'clock that I got the phone call that the plans were changing. So I sat down. I put my phone down, and I go to sit at my computer, and all of a sudden it hits me. I was like, "Oh, screw it! You know what? I can make it to the concert now. I don't. If he's the first group to play, that's going to suck. I'm going to miss it." But
You're literally the greatest father in the whole world. You just really are. Like, I mean, because you do this, you do everything for your kids. You do everything for my kids. I don't even consider them just my kids
I don't
anymore.
even like them.
I don't like them either. Someone's got to do something for them. But you are. Like, you're really such a great, great dad. No other dad in the world would be like, "Oh, I have the night off. Let me go see Kevin and his violin concert."
Oh, I disagree with that. I think there's plenty of fathers that would do that.
I don't know. I think you're amazing.
So I get there late. So obviously I'm driving myself. I get there late. So yeah. And I had a long day, which I'll get to in a second. But so when it was over, I'm like, it was just, that girl and her mom. I knew, you always get the girls are going to talk. And I was just like, I'm just not in the mood.
You just weren't in the mood.
Yeah. So I was like, screw it. I'm going home. But
I got you ice cream later.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So we opened the doors. And luckily you got me ice cream.
Yeah.
Because when we opened the doors to leave, everybody just ran. Everybody just thought about themselves and ran.
Yeah.
Nobody said, "Hey, Tony, do you need a ride to your car? Tony, where'd you park? Tony, you can't run in the rain." I mean, it was buckets.
I just figured you were right outside the door.
And yes, and I heard her say you parked in King Cullen because I was walking in the same direction as them, which is all I heard her say because then they were able to run. And everybody passed me. Everybody was running past me and people running ahead of me and just people running. You guys were in the back. So you guys took off immediately as soon as you saw it was raining. And nobody looked back to see where the poor cripple,
Well, what about the
useless
guy who
was.
shot his girlfriend with two missing legs? Doesn't he run? Can't you run?
The guy's an Olympic runner.
Yeah, right. So
With running legs. I don't have a running leg.
Oh.
So everybody's like running for their lives in this downpour.
And there were
I'm just
puddles. There were so many puddles.
And especially in the King Cullen parking lot, it was like a pool.
Yeah.
So so I'm just boo, boo. walking as people like screaming past me and I think it was not Amelia, Allison too, that even said, and it's freezing out here.
Yeah, she was
I'm
mad.
like, oh my God.
She was so mad.
And meanwhile, nobody's even like, oh, you poor bastard, or hey, here's an umbrella, walk with me. Nothing. People just zoom, zoom, zoom past me. It was like I'm the slow-mo and as you know, as everybody else is on, fast forward,
Yeah.
Have to cross Merrick Road, this main street. Have to get into this parking lot. Like I said, it was like a swimming pool. So I'm like trying to dodge all these big.
Yeah, I had no idea until you told me later.
And these, I'm still getting.
You
used
would
to
have
these.
not wanted me to. Well, you know what I probably could have done is got in the car, let you walk in, drove you over, because you wouldn't have wanted to come with us. Like
Right.
we were practically in the back of the school.
But I'm still getting used to these
Yeah,
glasses.
it sucks.
So-
Glasses suck.
So what do you do in the rain?
You just have to wait.
Because that was the thing. So
Yep.
like I need little wipers. So that too. So I had to take these off, which is fine. I could see,
Yeah.
good enough, so I'm able to get through. It's not like I can't see where I'm going. So I took those off, but I'm like, that's
Yeah,
annoying.
glasses suck.
So I was drenched.
Yeah.
I was drenched by the time I got to my car.
Yeah, when we got home, because we, we were just soaking through the whole thing, and then I actually changed before I took Amelia home because I just couldn't be cold
Right.
anymore.
So I actually when I first got in the car, I was just like, I had to like take it in for a second. I was just like,
This is surely the end of my day. This is the cherry on the top of my crap sandwich day. Please don't read Fromder.
no, I'm skipping from there.
Okay.
But I'm reading Plagianos. Oh my God, it just hit me. Sallie does it for the parking. Tony, I don't know how to tell you this. Mm-hmm. She is with you for the parking.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind that if it wasn't for the parking, she'd be...
Parking at Christmas time alone. It doesn't even have to be like 365 days. Being able to get close parking during Christmas time.
She would be engaged
Yeah.
to Sally Annie by now if it wasn't for the parking that I get her.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are plenty of times, because she is so much smaller than him, there are plenty of times I think she's like wrapped up in him somewhere when he's walking down the hallway.
Not anymore. He's lost 140
Yeah, but he's still
pounds.
But he's still 20 feet bigger, taller.
Yeah.
So, and I had a long day. Speaking of doing everything for the kids, I mean, what do you guys think? When do you stop? When do you cut them off? Not cut them off, but
when they're ready.
when do you start to back off?
When they're ready.
I know a lot of you have younger children, but because my guy, he had another car accident.
He's fine.
He's fine. Although
The
the car is totaled. The car that I just got him back in November, this past November, because the car he had before that was totaled.
This is number 4, right?
This is his 4th accident. He's driving 4 years. So he's had 1 accident a year. Which I take back because his first accident was 3 or 4 months after he started driving. His second accident was a little, like maybe 10 months later. Then he did go a year. Mm-hmm. He went, I think, 14 months without an accident, which led to the one he just had back this past October, which he totaled the car and was pretty fortunate that he was able to walk away.
Yeah, when we saw pictures. Boy.
And now this one was another one where he was lucky to walk away and the car is totaled. He ended up the cars hit so bad that the car that hit him actually spun because it hit so bad, so it spun and then hit him a second time.
Yeah.
And then my guy ended up, he was traveling east. He ended up on the westbound side, from the impact. And so fortunately, there was nobody that close going west to hit him.
He was, again, thank goodness, lucky.
And yeah, again, totaled, so you can imagine the damage. Airbags deployed, the whole works. Yeah, so that was my day. Yes, so it happened around 9 or 10 the night before. I think it was it was around 9. Tuesday night. So, so you're not going to do anything at that point. So so yesterday morning, have to call the insurance, have to call this one, have to call the other guy's insurance, have to look for a new car, have to,
Go to DMV or
right,
stuff like that.
Figure out how he's gonna, get to places. He actually missed yesterday. He was supposed to work on a movie set, and he ended up not being able to go because he couldn't figure out a ride. Why he didn't do Uber, I don't know, but.
Yeah, years ago you didn't have
right
that luxury.
Today he's in the city, so I believe he just took a train in, so he lucked out in that sense. But but there's just a lot of red tape, a lot of aggravation, a lot of irritation, a lot of shit. So and it was my whole day, dealing with it, trying to figure out, talk to my insurance, talk to the other guy's insurance, figure out a car. My son he did end up going to urgent care yesterday because his shoulder was bothering him, but it's fine. There's nothing wrong. And it's not even bothering him that bad. It was actually the other guy's insurance said to him, if you have the slightest bit of pain or discomfort anywhere, please go get checked out. I don't think he would have gotten checked out if it wasn't for that. And again, it turned out to be nothing. He's fine. There's nothing wrong. So, but he was busy with that, I guess. While I handled insurances and phone calls, and I even went and looked at a car last night.
2 cars.
I went and saw 2 cars last night?
Yeah, I remember we
went to one, which we would have taken, but there was a guy there who...
I'm glad we didn't.
Really?
It had way too many miles.
But
as like Sam pointed out, it's like, because he was like, why didn't you get that one? I'm like, well, someone took it just before us. And I said, but, it had like a lot of miles. And he's like, with like Zach, does it really matter? Like, I don't know. Maybe this time it will.
So, and then I looked at another car by myself, which I wasn't sold on it. So, so it was just a crazy day. And then I was looking forward to seeing a friend of mine at the airport who I was going to pick up. And the plans changed. And I was like, oh, this day just sucks.
Airlines have been like really crazy.
Yeah. So I was happy to get to the concert, but then after the concert to just be walking in this downpour. It was like, man, if this doesn't sum up my day, man.
Yeah.
So I did just, it made me feel better. I just killed somebody on the way home. I just ran them over.
Okay.
Cheered me up a little bit. Who's that?
Just Joanne. She's just texting me.
Oh, I thought it was a phone call.
Yeah, it's the same sound as my regular. She's dropping off a end table to my house. She moved, and so a lot of people are moving and giving me furniture. It's worked out. Sorry. But
Fremder's...
No,
it's funny.
Is it?
I like it.
All right, go.
That reminds me of 2 gay marathon runners. They're both neck and neck until one of them got ahead. Brendan Burt says he's cutting his daughter off when she's 18, which is not for another, which won't be for another 26 years.
Well, that's just it. Like, I think you have to you can't just say, kind of like, I don't know, like I remember when the kids were like little and like they were infants and the pediatrician would be like, well, breastfeed until they're 1. Like what if earlier works better for that child, or what if waiting a few months later? Why like at 12 months, boom, you were done. Well, I didn't really need it for like the last month, or I could probably use like a couple of months. You have to, and I nursed 2 kids, so I could tell you that they both needed like a little bit different stuff.
18 years,
and so. I just feel like it's always that way. You have to look at your particular kid or your particular friend or your particular anything, and some people need more and some people need less.
I agree 100%, but I do feel...
You feel bad about helping him because you feel like you're enabling him, but I think he's just going to need more help for a little bit.
I do feel that, I'm just still wondering when. Like I don't see an end in sight.
No, I feel like a little strongly about Zach, because I feel like Zach, he's one of those like kids that he was like the youngest in his class his whole life, and if anyone should have been like the oldest in the class, it's Zach.
We definitely should have. We should not have rushed getting him into school. He was born a week before the cutoff here in New York.
And I feel like his whole life people have been
waited.
expecting so much of him. And like if like for Zach especially, I would give him, whenever you feel like it's too long of a time you've been helping him, add on 2 years. Like if anyone deserves that extra 2 years, because he's deserved that his whole life, another 2 years. Like he probably should have been started like maybe a year later than everyone. Like I think he was kind of such a little wiggly worm for so long that would have helped him. So I don't know. I just feel you have to take kid by kid, but I don't know. Well, like what does everyone else feel? Like what do they feel?
Well, Brendan Burt says my point. I'm never letting go. Me and my girls are ride or die for the remainder of my living life. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, but see, but Brendan. Surely you must feel that there's a line. Like I have no problem with the ride or die for the remainder of my living life. I have no problem with that. In fact, I think that's what I'll do because I'm very hands-on with my guys. But I don't like doing things for them. I do feel that they're past that point. Helping them, sure. What do you need? What can I do? But I don't like. I just feel
you just feel like you're hurting them because you're not. You're making it sound like you're lazy and you want them to like do their own stuff, and that's not true. You just feel like you're enabling them to not learn what they should be doing. Like
my son he has absolutely no clue what to do. I mean, he's had 4 accidents, and he still doesn't know any better from his first accident on how to handle it.
He doesn't,
and that's on me. That's on me, but and that's my point, Brendan. I mean, surely at some point you must feel all right. Like I'm saying, your daughters need something, great, and you're there. But if they're 32, or I mean, my son's not 32, but if they're at an adult age, they should be able to handle these things themselves. And then, but while they know, okay, all right, Dad, I talked to this guy. This is what he needs. I can't take care of that now. I got to do this over here. Can you take care of that for me? Sure, no problem.
Right. He's not there.
He's definitely not there.
He's not there at all. Yeah.
And I'm not knocking him for it because it's me.
He would have no idea. Well, no.
But I
don't know. I think that's him. See, like it isn't you.
It does upset me when I'm
you.
Killing myself yesterday, and he just went to urgent care, and the whole experience was like 3 hours. And he spent the rest of the day doing nothing with this thing while I'm doing it all.
Right.
I don't mind doing it. There's a part of me that doesn't mind doing it because at least I know what I'm doing and I'm getting it right. And I made a lot of headway yesterday with the other guy's insurance.
You're like a professional at this now.
But on the other hand, there is a part of me saying, "Hey, you get off your freaking ass and you do it."
Yeah.
You know? Like
you tried the last time, like the last accident. I think you ended up doing it all yourself because you were actually gonna. I just remembered this. Remember you were gonna do this with him the last accident where you went to go pick him up. Remember?
Well, I
you went to go get him, and you were gonna have the whole day with him where we would teach him how to do this. But then it just ended up being this crazy day, and he thought you meant you were picking him up at school, and you were at the house, and then it just became this like thing, and you're like, oh my God, just forget it. I'm just gonna do it myself. You know?
Right. Well, and then looking at cars, he was killing me.
Yeah.
So like I said, I looked at 2 cars yesterday. I'm doing it myself.
You're not even telling him. Like,
but that's that's the thing. Like, yeah, I'm not even doing it. Like he doesn't. I don't even think he knows how much goes into this. Like I think if I said to him, "Hey, look, I spent the whole day on this yesterday," I think he'd be like, "Really? What are you talking about?"
Right.
But again, that's on me.
It isn't because he's not ready. You know.
Fremder, I used to breastfeed when I was little, but then my mom told me she only liked me as a friend. Brendan Bird says, "You guys sound like my parents until I found my way, which I did, and I got deeper, and I got into deeper shit than anybody deserved to live through eventually."
Yeah, see, that's how I feel too. Like my parents were completely opposite of me. Like my dad was a cop, and he just had girls, and so we just completely knew how to do everything ourselves because I think he was just worried about that. Like he was worried about his daughter on the side of the road with a flat tire, and so he really, and so to your point. So maybe I'm not right. Like to your point, I do everything to a point where I actually, like when you're like, can I help you with this? I'm almost like shocked. Like what? Like of course I could build that. Like I put that, the cat. But I do this stuff at home too. Like I got
the bidet,
big bin thing,
a storage bin
for like the outside, and Tony's like, what do you do? And I'm like, well, I put together this bin. He's like, what? So I'm really but I don't even ask for help because I don't.
But that's my point. I think that's why maybe we even put an age on it because it's just a fact. I'm not knocking my son or his generation, but when we were that age, we were doing things for ourselves.
But look at Kevin. Like I had this. We're switching around a lot of stuff in the house because Cindy had like her whole Georgia world in her bedroom and a few closets, and Kevin's going to move into that room, and so furniture needs to be pulled out, furniture needs to be put in, and so there's one of the things we just had somewhere else in the house was a cabinet for storage for computer stuff. It's and so we just I'm like, Kevin, go take this, and he did this entire work with like wires and pulling in, and so like Kevin is like someone who you don't have to do anything for Kevin.
I'm going to disagree.
What?
First off, all he had to do was.
I just don't mean to ban this generation because there's plenty of kids in this generation
hear me out.
Are like me and you.
First off, yes, he did a great job. He had to move like internet wires and USB cables and electric plugs and he did it like, this little entertainment unit had the holes in the back so you can run wires through it. So he did a super job with it.
He cleaned the whole area.
Cleaned the area up. It didn't look like spaghetti anymore. He did a nice job. However, then the very next day, there was a lot of garbage at the end of our driveway. Like you said, a lot of Cindy stuff.
Yeah.
Kevin couldn't figure out how to park between the garbage and your car. That was, there was plenty of room in between the garbage and Sally's car. He cannot. So he came in. He left his car in the driveway. He came in and said, "Ma, will you parallel park my car for me so it'll be in the usual spot, his usual spot."
Yeah.
And he keeps walking.
Yeah.
Like he didn't even wait for you to say yes. It was more like, "Here are my keys. Parallel park my car."
Yeah.
And just kept going like you're his servant.
So
I wanted to strangle him for that.
I think I handled it perfectly though, right? Because like I didn't even flinch. And then when he came back around, I was like,
right.
Ready?
We made him do it, right? We were both out there watching. And you,
yeah. I was like, he's like, well, I don't know how to. He goes, I don't know how to parallel. I only know how to parallel park. Because his thing is like, he never wanted to parallel park again. And I was like,
too bad.
You cannot be like that. You have to take your test, and every once in a while you have to parallel park because you don't want to be one of those people that can't parallel park. It's a skill that you have to remember, and you have to keep it up. You do. You're gonna regret not. He's like, I don't ever. I'm like, well, you're gonna. And so but so he said to me, he's like, well, I only know how to parallel park against a car, not against trash. So I'm not gonna be able to do this. I'm like, well, let's go do it together.
You are.
So he was like, so we like walked out there and we stood on the lawn and he did an awful job, but he did it and he tried. He didn't do an awful job not trying. He tried to do a good job. But so, yeah, I mean.
Right. And then that's what Brendan Burt says. Eventually somebody taught me how to fish. Get it.
Yeah.
You get it. But it is weird because at our age, I already had my own car payment. In fact, I was engaged for the first time. At this age.
So maybe that's not good.
Well, yeah. I mean, granted, we definitely made mistakes, but we were doing it ourselves is my point, which sometimes, and whether it was a mistake or not, that's usually the best way most people learn.
Sometimes, but like I didn't have a safety net at all. So I kind of want to raise them where kind of like how I handled Kevin. Like, no, do this.
Right.
But I want to be all their safety nets, and however big of a net they need in a certain situation.
A net.
Exactly,
but just not.
Yeah,
doing it for
it
them,
has
so.
gotten a little bit with
Liz
Zach.
Batapete says her grandson is 17, graduating high school in 2 weeks. He's taking flying lessons and also working, but he failed his driver's test. So he's actually going to have a pilot license before he has a driver's license.
Sam had a pilot. Yeah, Sam flew.
No,
but he flew planes before he drove a car.
Fremda says he'll learn his lesson when you come home with a rusty old minivan. Trust me, I have not been buying him.
Oh, there've been dumpers.
Yeah, that's what I've been getting him. So this will be his third car in 4 years.
Yeah,
and see, even that too.
They're not lookers.
See, even that too. I'm like, part of me wants to say, hey, you know what?
Now you're on your own.
I bought you 2 cars, man. Forget it.
Yeah.
Go work more hours and save up for a car.
I know.
But at the same time, then I feel like shit, though, when he can't get to a job because he doesn't have a car.
Right.
Or if I need him to take his sister somewhere because she doesn't drive,
Yep.
I know. It's crazy.
There's no good answer, but I think you're doing the right thing.
Let me read Kirsten, and then we'll get out of here.
Sure.
It's late.
Yeah.
I'm surprised how late
I know. I got to get running.
Okay. Not skateboarding. Kirsten says, my dad was an auto body repairman, and I know nothing about cars, just know how to put gas in it and get oil changed.
Even that, the first time, Kevin, when he was learning how to drive, I was like, all right, let's learn how to put gas in the car.
Yeah, I did.
He was
too.
all really nervous.
At Christmas time, she says, I asked my 15-year-old daughter to wrap her brother's presents.
Oh yeah,
He's
that's
8.
That's unreal when they wrap for the first time.
But she said, you never taught me how. I was so perplexed. I said, you just figure it out.
Yeah.
Liz Batapete says, get my son a bike. Yeah, I wish I could, but unfortunately he works, a lot of movie sets all over the city and the island. So, Fremda, I have excellent driving skills. Not too many people know that I sometimes race for NASCAR. Those skills happened when I'm on the way home and I have to shit. Yeah, me too. Brendan Bird, if I knew somebody would do it for me, I'd have never learned one end of a screwdriver from the other. Right, exactly. And then Brendan Burt says, great show, thanks. Thank you, Brendan.
Thanks, Brendan.
He's always nice about that. He always says, great show, when he watches. So thank you, pal. Appreciate that. Thank you guys for hanging with us today. Thanks for sticking with us as we went a little late today. Today is Thursday. Do we have anything on tonight? We don't,
No.
right?
Mm-mm.
So, tomorrow, I will be back here with Andy Plajanos, and we will be hanging with No Filter Paul, formerly of the Opie and Anthony Show. Should be a fun one. Should be a lot of interesting stories. And then there is live from Governor's Green Room this Saturday.
Okay.
Joe Pontillo, Brian McGinnis doing their thing in the Giggle Room. I don't know who's in the big room on Saturday, but I'm sure it'll be somebody great, and we'll try to get them in here. So it'll be a fun night. So please join us. And again, please tell everybody you know about all the great shows here at Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. Have a great rest of your Thursday. See you tomorrow. See ya.